Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day guys and welcome to All the Gear But No Idea. We're up to episode 17 of the Great South Australian Fishing Podcast. I'm joined here by Diz. How are you?
Yes, fantastic, Rhodey. How are you, mate?
Yeah, always good here chatting a bit of fishing, and we have got a big guest today, Diz.
Absolute ripping guest, a South Australian icon who does some fantastic charitable work. Cosi Costello, South Aussie with Cosi. And Cows for Cambodia is what he gets around over there, isn't he, Rhodey?
Yeah, so it's great to have a chat with Cosi today. He's passionate about the state, he loves wetting a line, and he's certainly travelled to more places within South Australia than you and I put together. So hopefully he's got a few tips for us for where we should plan our next holiday.
Yes, I sure hope so. I'm really looking forward to having a chat with him. But before we do that, Rhodey, we're going to have to get into the oranges and lemons of the fortnight that has been. And I'm going to kick us off, mate, because I've just come back from a week of annual leave and I'm absolutely cheering about it. Had a great time away on Yorks.
Yeah, we'll hear all about Dizzy's fishing escapades later on, but I sort of got a little bit of a rumour he might not have caught that much while I wasn't there, which is probably no surprise.
Broke the hoodoo of being able to catch fish when you're not there, though.
Only just.
What was your orange, mate?
Oh, look, mate, I can't go past the mighty Power.
How good.
Got a big prelim coming up. Our boy Tommy Jonas.
Oh, jeez. He has been on fire since he came on this show.
And it's no coincidence.
No, it's not.
And all the boys get around the podcast, though. We've had a bit of, Hamish Hartlett has a listen. I think Tommy Cleary, they love it.
They do. I think they sort of use it as a bit of a reather.
They do. So if they're hearing this, give us a shout out, boys. We love having you as listeners.
Absolutely. Rhodey, what's your lemon?
I reckon you bloody nicking off with me boat and going fishing without me.
You flat.
Didn't get an invite. Dizzy said, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to Yorks for a week." Oh, yeah, my invite must have got lost in the mail.
Yeah, sorry, Chief. You didn't have work. If you didn't have work, mate, you would have been more than welcome.
Anyway, that's my lemon. Getting uninvited off my own boat.
All right. Well, my lemon was Millie out fishing me. One of our sessions, basically could not get my rod in the water for one of our sessions. She just kept pulling them in hand over fist, and she doesn't like pulling them off the hook. So I was just standing there unhooking fish for the first 20 minutes, and I finally got amongst the action.
And how big was that fish you caught, Diz?
Oh, mate, it went 48.5.
48.5 centimetre King George Whiting.
It was an absolute stonker.
They get thick at that size too.
They do. They get real girthy.
Yeah, all right, we're happy with that.
Rhodey, give the listeners out there an update on the merch, because we did just do a little post to remind everybody about these caps and stubbies, but they want to hear it on the episode. Tell them about it, mate.
Yep, now we've got caps for $25. If you purchase 2, you get a free stubby holder. They are selling well.
They are. That's a no-brainer before summer, isn't it?
Oh, the UV rays are just starting to warm up. I'd be getting a cap, especially if you've got a big old forehead like Dizzy. Make sure you put it away.
How much are the stubbies, Rhodey? 10 for one,
$10 each,
for 20?
3 for 20, you got it. And there's also, you may have seen if you tune into our YouTube channel, which we will hear about later in the episode.
Yes.
The big Diz and myself modelling the samples of the t-shirts. So if you like the look of them, let us know, because they're potentially in the pipeline too.
Big thanks to ORTK.
Yeah, One Rundle Trading Co, Swale and the crew there.
Swale and the crew for getting around
after us.
That's very good. Very good indeed of them. All right, Rhodey. Mate, you are usually the one who buries your head in the books, but I have come through with the goods this week on the news, haven't I?
We had a whole week off work, so you could have at least scrolled a little bit of Google to find me some news.
Dished a bit up, but I think let's just hit the listeners with the big news to start with. It's broken over the weekend. Great fan of the show, Lee Van Soos, has put up a post on her personal Facebook page, which has alerted more people to the changes of the MARFAC. And they have been announced, those new members. There's 6 new members and an independent chair. The independent chair is Sharon Starrick. Served on many other national and local boards, including Animal Health Australia, Grains Research and Development Corp, Rural Business Support and RAA, amongst others. And she will be the independent chair, which has been something that I think a number of people have been looking forward to. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, look, I think that's a positive announcement and sounds like she's got a lot of experience.
Yes, I think she does. She has definitely got experience. And her role as independent chair will basically be to advise the MARFAC on corporate governance. She will be chairing the meetings and also manage interactions between MARFAC and the Department of Primary Industries and Regions. And David Basham will be the man there that will be the go-to.
Yep, so along with her to chair the committee or the council, tell us about who else they've brought on, Diz.
Well, they've got 6 other members and they've gone to a number of different stakeholders sort of in the recreational fishing industry. And Alicia Bolitho will be the Fishing Trade Association member. Andrew Smith is a lobster fisherman from the southeast. Lee Van Soest, great fan of the show and supporter of the show. She's an excellent game fisherwoman. And Brian Stokes, another game fisher. Mick Wilson, he's from Recfish SA, he'll be on there. And Rob Wilson, who is a pro fishing rod maker. I look forward to taking my Sabre Blank down to him or one of his colleagues to do us up a nice tuna stick.
Yeah, we've been in there and had a real service before, I think, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
Great
good
guy.
that... So 2 of those new guests have been 2 of those new members on the panel have been former guests of the show, Diz.
They have, and it's excellent that they've been on the show. We are going to spread the good word. We look forward to MARFAC making some good inroads because I think it's safe to say the last sort of period of time has been a bit bumpy for them. Would you agree?
Well, they seem to have just hit a standstill, really, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. And look, I don't think that's through fault of their own, but a bit of a change-up. An independent chair, as we mentioned, and a number of other factors I'm sure have contributed to people leaving that committee. But back on track, and we'll look forward to getting some insights as to what they're up to.
Yeah, certainly. And the big thing that we would like to hear out of them is this recreational fishing licence. We'd like to hear something out of the survey, wouldn't we, Diz?
We would. We'd love to know some results of the survey, and we do look forward to hearing about that. I know that Minister Basham has been out talking about things. He's been on another show, I believe, Rody, and has made some commentary about the RFL being unlikely due to a lack of support. So certainly no official announcement, so we don't want to be jumping the gun there. But anything that we've heard on the grapevine is pointing to an RFL being unlikely. Would you agree?
Yeah, certainly that's the word, but as you say, we'll wait till we hear it 100%.
Yes, we will. We won't jump the gun. All right, well, that has been some big news, hasn't it?
It has. Good work there, Diz. Now, what have you got for us about the tuna?
All right, mate. So I've been reading an article. It was headlined, Tuna Value Dropping, Industry Must Plan Ahead. So this article was essentially talking about how the catch of tuna has substantially increased over a period of time, but the money and the dock value has not substantially increased. So, for example, fisheries caught 500,000 more metric tonnes in 2018 than 2012, but were paid $500 million less in dock value.
All right, so what does that tell us, Diz?
Does that blow your mind?
What does it tell us?
People aren't paying as much.
So it's becoming more affordable.
I suspect so.
A bit of sashimi for dinner is becoming easier for people to get.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the tuna industry is $40 billion a year business, but commercial fisheries worldwide are hauling in much bigger catches to service demand, but the value is dropping. And over the long term, there needs to be a science-based approach to keep the revenue high without depleting the stock. So we don't want to just keep catching more and more and more and not getting any value for it.
And is this an Australian study or is this worldwide numbers, Diz?
Couldn't tell you, mate.
Good research anyway. Because I did think that we've mentioned...
I suspect it would be Australia-wide.
Okay.
Would you say? Or?
Look, I don't know. I thought we'd read that the tuna were pretty sustainable in Australia.
Couldn't tell you, mate. But interestingly, out of that article, the skipjack, which is a staple for the tuna supermarket range, has accounted for about 58% of all tuna landed in 2008. But it only accounted for 40% of the value.
So we're saying that is the cheapest of the tuna.
It is. There's some other tuna, I think it's the large-eyed bluefin or something like that. That's what reaches the highest value for the Japanese markets.
Yes. Yep.
That's about all I've got out of that report, mate. Sorry for my little lack attention to detail there, but we might report back a bit later about that.
We'd certainly love a bit more information out of you, a few more details.
Oh,
I have clicked on the website that you had listed, and it's talking about the Atlantic and the Mediterranean bluefin. So I'm going to jump the gun and say
it's worldwide.
that it might be worldwide.
Okay.
United States, we're talking Japan, we're talking worldwide here,
I
guys.
guess there's one thing we learn is,
Don't trust Dizzy with stats, or...
You wouldn't be trusting me to bury my head in the books week in, week out, would you?
I might take over the fishing news again next week, guys. So I apologise for Dizzy's incompetence.
All right, here's something you can talk about. The recreational rock lobster southern zone has opened. Ready?
Yep, so that opened at the start of October. So I've seen a few photos floating around of a few southeast fishermen getting a couple, either diving or in pots. I was down there on the weekend, didn't take the dive gear. But
disappointing.
Yeah, should have really. Didn't have anyone to go with. I'm a real safety.
It's advisable to dive with too, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't have a buddy.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, so the northern zone opens on November 1. So that's basically everywhere but the southeast of the state. So KI, York Peninsula, Eyre Peninsula, things like that.
Yep. And I've been reading on the PIRSA website as they announced this southern zone opening that they would like to have a timely reminder to everybody that catching illegally lobster is heavily penalised. 2 Victorian men and a Mount Gambier man have been fined $17,000 in total, and they've each had a conviction recorded against their names. 17 illegally caught lobster. 8 of those were undersized. They were caught when they were back at the ramp, coming back.
When were they
didn't
caught?
have navigation lights on. So it was an absolute shambles.
Have you got me some details of when they were caught?
They were caught after dark at the ramp.
Like in the last couple of weeks, though?
No. This was a long time ago.
Okay. I was just wondering if we also could have had a COVID breach.
No, the conviction has been now finalised.
Okay, no, I was just thinking the fact that the Vic men and the Mount Gambier men were fishing together, I thought we might have a COVID breach on our hands.
That could have been a nasty breach.
Yes. Anyway, we've also got the Goolwa cockle season will open shortly on November 1st.
Yes.
So we need to go down there and fill the freezer before our KI trip.
Yes.
And any other trips, we nip over to York Peninsula to get some tingers.
Yes, we do.
Although, we could always just go down to Christie's Beach and get some of the nitro cockles.
Oh, mate.
Now we're talking.
That nitro stuff is good gear.
We haven't tried the nitro cockles. Dizzy forgot to pick up his little bag before we went over there. Boyd promised him a beautiful bag of nitro cockles.
Might have to get amongst those soon, mate.
I reckon we might need to plan a trip.
I do, yes.
Next weekend.
All right, another fishing news out of PIRSA has been Gulf St Vincent's snapper stocks decline further, has been the headline. Research has shown that stocks have regressed from depleting to depleted. But interestingly, this data has come from before the closure. So it basically indicates that the government has done the right thing. That's what they're out about spruiking, and they're looking forward to collecting some more data after a full year of the closure. They're going to be sampling some over autumn 2021 next year, and to see whether a successful spawning pulse has worked and the numbers are increasing. So we look forward to seeing what's happening there.
I'm very interested in what's going to happen with this snapper stuff.
Yes, it will be. Well, January 2023 is when they're planning on opening. I think there'll be uproar if they
January 2023, that's still 3 more years.
Yeah, it is.
Hell.
No, well, it's really 2 when you come to January. It's only
Yeah.
Like 8 weeks to Christmas.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we've got another little bit of news here which we've seen floating around on Facebook. SAPOL are out and about telling people about their new fleet of jet skis. 2 new jet skis. It's going to be patrolling the beaches and the Murray. They had a targeted operation in the Riverland last week and they handed out some expiation notices to a number of unlicensed boat operators. Naughty.
Certainly my impression is there's more people illegally boating on the river, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
People think they can get away with a lot
thought
up there.
so. Probably not as much. Well, I mean, this is not... I don't mean this because it's just as dangerous on the river. But, people just on the river, there's plenty of different places. They just sort of sneak through some back creeks or something.
It's perceived as safer.
Yes.
People jump on jet skis unlicensed, things like that.
Yeah, well, actually, one person did get picked up for operating a jet ski unlicensed and... they got in a lot of trouble for it. But basically, SAPOL have come out and said, look, it's going to be better for them. They'll be able to access some shallow water in places where their current fleet can't go, so they're happy with that. 2019-2020 financial year, SAPOL recorded 316 marine-related incidents with 6 water rescues and issued 152 expiation notices. I think they're hoping not to capture more people, they're hoping to educate more people. And they're hoping to be out there and patrolling the waters a bit more, Rody.
Yeah, good to hear. We want to keep everyone safe on the water.
Yes, there'll be an RBT as well, so that's a timely reminder that if you are enjoying alcohol on the water, we suggest you do that in moderation. We suggest you drink light beers. You take plenty of water on a fishing trip. Don't go down a creek for 5 hours with 1 can of Solo. They're things which you just shouldn't be doing, aren't they, Rody?
Who would go down a creek for 5 hours in 40-degree heat with 1 can of Solo?
I've got no idea. You might need to call Adam Perry for that.
I think you were skipping the boat that day, so we'll put you in charge of the drinks for the day.
We had all of our safety gear. We did have 2 litres on the boat because you do have to carry 2 litres.
Yeah.
But we just conveniently forgot because I think we were all significantly dehydrated after sharing 1 can of Solo between 4 blokes. Anyway, while we're on the river stuff, a 15-pound carp from the Torrens. Rody, you and Latchy were flicking a few messages around on Facebook saying that it was half the size of some carp that you two.
Yeah, well, I just remember way back in the day, as we discussed, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, we used to do a bit of fishing on the Torrens in our younger years.
Okay.
And I reckon me and Pez hooked some sort of river monster, and Latchy couldn't quite work the net that well that day.
Horrible.
So that would have been, I reckon that would have been 30 pound. Nah, look, I don't know. It was big, though.
Horrible call.
Anyway, Isaac Cooney is a 15-year-old young fella from Findon. He caught a 6.85 kilogram carp from opposite the West End Brewery at Theberton. Quite impressively, he was using 8-pound line, corn as bait, and it took a 50-minute fight with his dad netting the fish. He's heard of one caught at 20 pound.
He would have been running up and down the river following that thing.
That was a great pastime of ours, wasn't it? Lying in the sun on the banks of the Torrens.
Bit of a shout out to Ross Gates while you're at it too.
He was a guru.
Hours on the Torrens there.
He spent more time on the Torrens than at school. You're 11 or 12.
Good call. He'd approve of that too, I reckon.
He'd be proud of that.
He would be. All right, Rody, tell us, mate. There's some news out of West Lakes. I'm hearing that you can eat some fish out of there.
This is interesting because that's always been a bit of a hotly debated topic over whether you should or shouldn't eat anything caught from West Lakes. So EPA testing has found that it is safe to eat the fish from there, provided they're filleted. The PFAS levels were safe for human consumption. Now wrap your ears around this one. Per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. They're basically a group of chemicals.
Okay.
And we test for them to make sure things are safe to eat.
Okay.
And filleted fish has got the tick of approval. Whole fish and mussels were still found to have too high levels for human consumption. Taking of molluscs has actually been banned for over 20 years in West Lakes.
Yes. Yeah, well, I grew up at West Lakes and I remember it was always a no-no. We used to go down there and catch bream.
Catch and release.
And it was definitely no taking that stuff home to fill it up for the table.
Dave, I taught you well then.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, Rody, it's been a pleasure bearing my head in the books. I might hand back the reins to you for every subsequent episode. Thoughts?
You haven't covered yourself in glory, really, have you?
I had one little blip, really, but it was a pretty bad blip. So, we'll write that off. Okay, well that wraps up the fishing news. Roddy, it's time to introduce our guest. And what a guest he is, a fantastic supporter of South Australia, the regions and everything our great state has to offer. All right, we're joined here today by a very special guest, Cosi of the South Aussie with Cosi fame. Cosi, thanks for coming on.
Boys, lifelong dream of mine is now complete. Talking to Roddy and Dizzy, you're beauty.
You're too kind, mate, and thank you very much for coming on the show. Let's get stuck into our 5 questions which we ask every guest. Cosi, tell us about your best fish, mate.
Oh, do you know what? I reckon the best fish I ever caught was, I was probably only 10 years of age, and I remember it so vividly. It was a very windy, rough, horrible day down at Wallaroo at the jetty there. And Mum had promised to take us fishing, so she did. She stuck by her word, and it was raining and blowing a gale. And I chucked my line in trying to catch Tommy Russ, and I jagged the snook, and it was the first snook I ever caught. And it wrapped around the bucket 1.5 times, and we were just blown away. We couldn't believe it. It was like striking gold as a 10-year-old boy on the York Peninsula, and that was the first big fish I ever caught, and it was just so wonderful.
Yeah, beautiful. And Cosi, tell us, what's your favourite thing about fishing, mate?
I think fishing's just so relaxing. It's sadly something I don't do nearly enough. We don't include enough fishing in the TV show for starters, because you boys might know the stats better than I, but it's something like around about 200,000 South Australians fish every single year. It is a massive pastime recreation, and I just love it. I think maybe it's a little bit of the hunter and gathering kind of, yes. vibe of it. Like, I love bringing home a beautiful catch of fish and cooking it up, and I just really enjoy that. I think time out on the water is just also great. I think anytime you're fishing, even if you're not catching anything, you're relaxing, you're with friends or family, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yes, absolutely. You're not wrong, and it's a common theme amongst our guests. So you've hit the nail on the head there, Cosi. Mate, you talked about that snook you caught. Was that your first fishing memory, or what got you into fishing?
Geez, the first fish I ever caught, bloody struggling to remember. I reckon it might have almost been a carp down at Lake Body at Barbara when I was really young. But we spent days and days and days on the Wallaroo jetty when we were sort of upper primary school kids. Mum would just drop me and my brother off down there, and she'd drop us off just before the right tide, and we'd stay down there for ages. And this is before we had mobile phones, so Mum would drop you down there at 6 a.m, and then you'd walk down to the phone box at 4 or 5 in the afternoon and tell her to come and pick you up. The old man was the local copper in Canina, so when he was working, he used to drive the police car down Wallaroo Jetty to just check on us, and do a U-turn down at the end there and then drive back. So I was probably the only fisherman on York Peninsula that had a police escort.
And hopefully a bucket full of fish too, Cosi.
Yeah, we used to only catch Tommies and Trevally, and we used to go squidding a fair bit as well. So, a good day for us would be a couple of dozen Tommies, 3 or 4 squid, and we'd just be over the moon. We would just absolutely love it.
And what's your favourite sort of fishing? You've talked about fishing off the jetty, a bit in the river. What's your pick of them?
I was getting right into snapper fishing. I was loving that before the bands, obviously. And then, we had some great times. We fished for the snapper at the start of the season. I think it's like December 10 or 15 or whatever it is. And then all the boats head out, and I think it kicked off at midday or might have been 10 o'clock. And all the boats are out there all set to go. And we were out there filming and went off West Beach and went across towards York Peninsula, and everyone was all set to go. Lines went in as the clock ticked over, and holy smoke, it was like flat out. You could have caught snapper there all day. And we even did a thing where we bagged out whatever, and we were just playing around and catch and release and whatever. And I got a little bit of cucumber from my sandwich, chucked it on a hook, chucked it down, bang, straight onto a snapper, and it's just so memorable. With a group of mates, it was unreal.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. And I'm sure across some of those trips, Cosi, you've got a funny fishing story, or tell us about the one that got away, mate.
Oh, jeez. I tell you a bloody good one we did. We went off at Coffin Bay and we filmed a story about going out to Rockley, Greenlee Island off the Coffin Bay. There's a fishing, I guess you can still do it. This is probably like 5-6 years ago. There's a fishing tour you can do, and it's on this massive boat, and over you go. And again, there would have been 15 of us blokes, and we all took swags and that. We all slept on the boat, and but just unbelievable fishing. And then we came back on the second day, and then we went back to Port Lincoln with our catch. And they had this thing at Lincoln at the time, I don't know if they still do it or not, where it was like, I don't know, it was $15 a head, and you take your catch to them, and then the restaurant cooked up all your fish and everything like that, and it was unbelievable. So, there was like gummy shark and whiting and nanagai and all sorts of other fish that they all did up for us. We had this massive smorgasbord. Not a very funny story, but a bloody great day.
Oh, you got out of filleting and then anyway, by the sounds.
I know the funniest story. Well, it was this was the first time I was ever in the media in South Australia, and it was because of fishing. And what happened was I took my hand line down to the Torrens when I was about 20, and I went fishing down the Torrens, and I caught a 33 centimetre goldfish, a massive goldfish. And anyway, so I put it in a bucket, and I took it home and got a half wine barrel and made a pond for it. And anyway, I had a photo of me holding this goldfish, and it made the back page of the paper, this section called the Bill King, and there's a big photo of me holding this bright orange goldfish. And it was the first time I was ever in the media here in Adelaide, and it's a picture of me holding goldfish, and the comment on it, like when they interviewed me, it says, Andrew Costello from your peninsula said, and the quote is me going, people just throw goldfish into the Torrens, they grow massive.
Well, funny you bring that up, Cosi, because we spent half of year 11 and 12 down at the Torrens fishing for goldfish too, actually.
Oh, really? It is fantastic. Like that, and that all Memorial Drive stretch of the Torrens is simply beautiful. You see a lot of people fishing down there, and like obviously you're only catching carp and goldfish, but all the same, it is just a lot of fun. It's wonderful.
Absolutely, it is. Thanks for that, Cosi. That wraps up the 5 questions. We're going to get stuck into some other stuff that you've been fantastic at promoting across the state, and we absolutely love this initiative from the government. Same dish, new fish. Tell us about it, Cosi, and how you've been involved.
Yeah, spot on. The government's been pretty proactive in the last few years at sort of monitoring fish stocks, and I think it's really worthwhile. It's really a good thing to sort of invest time before the stocks get completely depleted, or before you go, Jesus, we're not catching bugger all of these anymore, and then you realise you've stuffed up a population of fish. So one problem we have in South Australia is we're spoiled with so many different great fishing spots and species, but we do tend to hammer the same sort of line of species. So your King George whiting, your snapper that we're sort of talking about, like these kind of fish kind of cop it a lot harder than some of the other species. So the government's basically just doing this awareness campaign to say to people, why don't you try targeting a different type of fish? And a lot of these fish also go great in the same recipes and stuff that people cook the other species for. So they're basically asking you to swap over a little bit. Like, for example, instead of snapper, maybe try targeting nanagai while the bands are on. And nanagai are amazing eating fish. Like there's a bloke from Eyre Peninsula, he reckons that nanagai is the best eating fish in the world. The nanagai with the really big eyes, the massive open mouth.
Yeah, I reckon they're better eating than snapper too, actually.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Yep. So, but until we started catching them in fish, I'd never even heard of it before. So they're sort of just asking people to kind of like look at different species that they can maybe swap over. And I think anytime the government or PERS and all those mobs are doing stuff that helps fish stocks, I think it's really good. Like the other one that I was a part of was the whaler cuttlefish. That's been an amazing story. The cuttlefish numbers got really, really low, and then they put some bans on the commercial guys from fishing them, and I went diving there probably about 3 months ago, and there is literally probably a couple of 100,000 cuttlefish along that stretch near Whyalla, and it's one of the best dives you can do, and it's just a snorkel or a wetsuit job, and it's only in a metre and a half, 2 metre water, but bloody hell, it's interesting. And if they don't do things to protect some of the stocks like that, then we may have lost those. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, we went over and dived with the cuttlefish this year too, actually, Cosi, and it's certainly well worth doing. Certainly recommend that to everyone.
It's funny, isn't it? 'Cause on paper, it looks pretty boring. If someone says to you, hey, come diving with the cuttlefish with me, I remember the first time I did it probably 5 or 6 years ago, I was like, oh, geez, can you be bothered? It was a cold day, and I was almost happy to sit it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did it, and I was like, geez, how interesting is this? Like, to watch the whole mating, which is why they go to Whyalla there, that it's the rocky base that they like to lay their eggs on and stuff, and they only purely go there to mate, and after they mate, they die. What a way to go, huh? And it's pretty weird. You're floating on the top of the surface like a big fat seal, and you're looking down, basically watching cuttlefish shag each other like some sort of weirdo. And it's actually quite interesting the work that goes into it. They certainly love their mating rituals.
Yeah. Now, Cosi, tell us about the Cows for Cambodia. We did hear, it's a great concept you've got going over there. We love your work. We did hear there's a couple of fish over there. Do you have a bit of a crack at them as well?
Yeah. Oh, hey, I tell you what, that was probably one of the best days fishing I also did. Was over in Cambodia, out in these big, long, skinny canoes. It's such a primitive lifestyle over there, where we went out with about 4 big, long boats, and we went spear fishing for, they go for fish, water snakes, and rats as well, rats that are up in the trees in through all these river systems. So, that was an incredible day's fishing. But basically, in Cambodia, we loan livestock to some of the poorest families in the region, and then they get to keep the baby inside, and then basically we get the cow pregnant on the farm, and then we loan it out to the families, and then they get to keep the baby inside, and then we take our cow back, get it pregnant, and then give it to another family. So that's worked really well. And we've got 4 aqua fishery ponds there now, where we farm a type of fish called redfish and catfish, and we fatten up the fish, and then they get fed to the staff and to the school that we've got going there. So that's been really good. But it still needs a lot of work. I think we can farm the fish a lot more effectively than we do. Yeah. We can improve on that a lot, but it's a lot of fun. I love having the fish there. It's great.
Fantastic, Cosi. Your work over there and your charity stuff is absolutely inspirational, mate. So that's a real credit to you. I'm going to throw a question to you now from one of our fans of the show, Dan Way, from down at a fantastic little fishing shop at O'Sullivan's Beach. Let's Go Fishing. He's got a question for you. Very obvious, mate, that you see some amazing parts of our wonderful state, and he wants to know your absolute favourite camping and fishing location in South Australia.
Oh, yeah, it's a good question. I'll tell you what, the best place I'd like to walk to and go fishing tomorrow, if I could, is a place called Stokes Bay at Kangaroo Island. The thing about that is I wouldn't care what I caught. It's just an amazing place to go. Basically, all these boulders form a massive tunnel that you kind of got to walk through in order to get to the beach. And then it opens up onto a beach that looks like a movie set. There's always, nobody there. And the fish in the shallows there are full on. But it would just be a wonderful spot to just sit and just fish and just relax and chill. It is so stunning there. I think fishing on the river, on my to-do list is to catch a Murray cod. Yeah. I've never been lucky enough to do that, and some of those bends around Redmark and the cliffs that are on those bends is unreal. They reckon they're getting Murray cod around near Wilkadine Brewery there, and there's some insane cliffs along there. So to pull up in a boat there and catch a cod while you're having a beer, that would be gold.
Yeah, certainly. We've spent a lot of time up at that Wilkadine Brewery and around those parts, and it is a beautiful part of the world.
Yes.
Another spot we have spent a lot of time is actually Stokes Bay. We hire a place there for sort of 9 or 10 days every January, which we really look forward to. And we've also this year booked in a second KI trip. We're going over to the KI Cup for Dizzy's Buck Show. So we hear you've got a bit of experience at the KI Cup, Cosi, so tell us about that.
Yeah, I tried to win the KI Cup this year. I bought a horse called Meant to Be, and it absolutely wasn't meant to be. It ran terribly. And then I just drowned my sorrows so much after losing the KI Cup that I don't even remember driving home, or not driving home, coming home. So, yeah, I'm very scarred by the KI Cup. But the reason we went over to support that was after the fires, we were trying to, get as many people to the races as we could, and it worked. They got record crowds. It was unbelievable. It's just a great day, and to get over to Kangaroo Island, especially after the fires, it's amazing to see the country after a bushfire, and it's amazing to see it growing back. It's also a very unique thing. So to get over there and have a sticky beak around and get some tourism dollars into the Kangaroo Island area, plus have an amazing time, is a bit of a winner.
Yeah, fantastic, Cosi. And just one more before you go, mate, because we are very much looking forward to getting into regional South Australia with an empty esky and supporting
supporting everything that this state has to offer. Have you seen that from everybody? You seeing a bit of bounce back out in the regions?
Oh, absolutely. After coronavirus, sort of that middle of March, when the state opened up to regional tourism again, which basically meant South Australians could once again travel within South Australia, it was unbelievable. It was like a mass exodus of people. It was like watching the wildebeest run across the plains of Africa to get to York Peninsula and all of that. It was insane. And, from talking to a lot of the operators around that kind of July school holidays, Flinders Ranges had its best July for ages. It was like Christmas time there. And then York Peninsula, same deal. So all of these regions are getting smashed with tourists. Eyre Peninsula is an absolute hive of activity at the moment. And it's really good to see, because the more of us from the city that go out on holiday in the regions, the more jobs it creates. Like 33,000 South Australians are employed directly in the tourism sector. So every time someone decides to go up on a fishing trip or even go down the jetty and buy a bait and carry on and buy a meal while they're there, it all adds up so much. So the more we do it, the better.
Yeah, certainly we love that about the fishing in the state. It has so many flow-on effects to the local pub and the tackle shop, and some of these people we've got to know through the podcast. They're great South Australian businesses, and we certainly encourage everyone to get out there and support them.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, 100%.
All right, Cosi, well, thanks a lot for your time. We know you're a very busy man, and thanks for sparing us a bit of time to talk all things South Australia, and obviously fishing is a big part of that. Thanks a lot for all you do for the state, Cosi, and thanks for coming on.
Oh, Roddy Dizzy, it's been nothing short of an absolute honour. And as I'm sitting here laying on my couch chatting to you turkeys, I'm staring at something I think you would love. I'm going to send you a little video. The one thing I've always wanted when I was a little kid was a big fish tank. So when we did house renos, I put in a massive fish tank into the wall of my house. So the glass alone is 16 mil bulletproof glass. It's over half a ton of glass that got brought into my place in sheets, and then it got assembled and built in the living area, and then it got they had like this sort of like crane structure to lift it up and push it into place, and it holds just under 2 ton of water. So
you're kidding.
Yeah, I think you guys love it. It's got a freshwater stingray in it, and African cichlids and silver sharks and everything. I reckon you boys would absolutely love it.
Absolutely, we will, mate. Thank you very much for sending that through, and thanks again for coming on the show.
Wish you the best of luck, guys. Happy fishing.
Cheers, Cosi. Bye.
All right, guys, that was very, very good of Cosi to join us, dears. Good to hear from him.
He had some great stories. A great South Australian icon is Cosi.
And we'll be sure to share that video he told us about of his aquarium.
I look forward to seeing his aquarium.
Yeah, we're hotly waiting by the phone to see what he's got for us.
Do you reckon he jumps in the tank and cleans it himself?
Ooh, what do you say? 2 ton of water?
Oh, I doubt it.
Nah. Don't know, mate. I don't know.
Self-cleaning, you reckon?
You might have one, you can have like little shrimp and various not worms, but snails that clean it.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just hypothesising though. We'll wait for the video.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Reddy, we need to get stuck into the fishing report, mate, because we've got a bit going on this week, haven't we?
We do. We've been good on the fishing report this week. Now, Diz, we'll start with your week over on the York Peninsula. You stayed at your parents' place at Black Point, but travelled around a little bit, did you?
We did, yeah. We toured around because sort of got over there Saturday week ago. Weather was horrific, mate.
Yeah.
Blew its guts out. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I think that was the only thing getting me through work. No, you couldn't go fishing.
Well, I think the fish were pretty lucky too, to be fair.
What, that I was at work?
No. The weather was horrible. Because it sort of swung around, which gave us a bit of protection. That was nice. We could get out in the bay, got a few squid, a few crabs, nothing to brag about, but basically just relaxed, checked out a few sights and sounds of the area and took it easy.
Yeah, what can you recommend for anyone travelling over the York Peninsula?
Oh, look, if you're going to Ardrossan, then you want to go to the coffee house.
Good.
Yeah.
Good brew.
Good. They've just renovated it. It's nice in there. And if you're going anywhere near Black Point, you need to go in there and go and say good day to Lizzie and Jared from Wilfred.
Yeah, they're real fans of the show, aren't they?
They are. They're fantastic. Their coffee's excellent. They do a few treats as well if you're feeling a bit naughty.
And they've got a range of clothing, Diz. You become some sort of model.
Yes. Yeah, no, we've Millie got amongst a bit of merch. Yeah. She was happy to.
Could have probably picked a better model than you, I reckon.
Fair call. But anyway, so the weather improved on Friday and we capitalised, mate. We got out there, got amongst them, got the bag across the day, 2 little sneaky sessions around the tides.
Yeah.
They didn't bite as hard as when
I'm there.
we got them a while ago.
No surprise.
But it was really good. Millie caught an absolute stonker of a whiting, came in at 48.5 centimetres. It was huge.
I've seen you catch 2 fish smaller than that, mate.
Fair call. It was as big as that one we got off
Foul Bay.
Foul Bay.
Yeah, I reckon that's the biggest. That was 50, wasn't it?
It's massive, yeah. I reckon that one might have just got it, but it was huge nonetheless. Never seen a whiting like that anywhere near those grounds that we fished towards Port Vincent. So that was excellent. Almost as exciting as that day we pulled over those flatties.
Yeah, and they get thick, the whiting at that size, don't they?
Oh, they do. They couldn't believe the slabs coming off them.
So did you bring the fillets around for me for dinner or?
No, mate. Every time we go fishing together, you conveniently say, "Oh, I'll take them home so that I can vacuum seal them," and then they stay in your freezer.
Well, look,
they never make their way around to our house.
It's not my fault you forget to pick them up.
Typical. One thing we didn't have luck on, which was a bit unfortunate, was the gar. I think it might be a bit cold for them. Do they get them in summer months, you reckon, dabbing? Or is it
I think generally they're a bit of a summer species, but I'm not.
Maybe just poor form. It was interesting because we drove out there, got the lights, bang, saw 3 straight away like that.
Yeah.
And then cruised all the way around the bay, through the cliffs, got nothing the whole way.
And you practiced a little bit of same dish, no fish, new fish?
We did, mate. We smoked a few tommies. Dad and I were trying just in the bay for some gar and got the pencil floats out and we got amongst a few tommies and we smoked them up in the Weber, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
They were... Dave-O goes a bit hard on the salt sometimes.
He does like his seasoning, doesn't he?
And I think he might have overcooked it on the salt a bit, but they were still good.
Bit like when he used to make pickled squid.
He put 500 tonnes of garlic in there.
They had a bit of go in on those pickled squid. Pickled squid's probably a little bit of a, new fish, same dish.
Yeah.
Another way of using your seafood.
Yeah. No, fair call. And probably the only other thing we did while we were over there is whack the pots out.
Yeah, get many?
Off the point there.
Should be getting them. What month are we in this?
We're in October.
What letter does that end
with
in?
an
So
that was good.
Just for those playing along at home, the old wives' tale is any month with an R in it, you'll get crabs.
Yes. And it was true. I mean, we did get a feed of them, but nothing like we usually do around sort of November, December, January.
That's really the peak time.
They go really hard. Yeah, you just can't miss them. But that was good. Okay, so that was pretty much my week, Rody. It was excellent, and I look forward to getting over there next time and getting amongst some tingers again.
All right, now it's also been good. We've had plenty of listeners tagging us in their posts. Sounds like there's been a bit of fishing going on.
Absolutely. Shoalsy.
That's a good fish.
Absolute stonker.
So Shoalsy over out of Port Lincoln caught a big kingfish.
Big kingfish. Fantastic of him to tag us in that photo he put up.
Yeah, and we gave him a share, so just to show you that we're not making these things up.
Yeah, friend of the show, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Rody, Richard, over on the Eyre Peninsula.
Yeah, so Lucy's dad, or mum and dad, are over on the Eyre Peninsula at the moment with the Scholzes. They're friends. They are staying. They actually popped in a How's Your Tackle.
Oh, why wouldn't you?
Caught up with Boyd's mum, who looked after them.
Yes.
Sent them in the right direction, got them all the right gear. They are staying at Camel Beach. No fish off the beach.
Okay.
So save it.
Save it?
Well, they didn't get any anyway.
You reckon you could outdo it?
Oh, fair chance. Anyway, so no fish off the beach. So they ended up heading down to Venus Bay, hired a little tinny, and they put together a pretty good fisherman's basket, Diz.
They were big squid.
They were big squid.
They were big squid.
So we shared that one as well on the Instagram story. They got some big squid. I think it was 4 or 5 whitings, some tommies and salmon.
Well, they leave the whiting on the bite, do you reckon? Or they just couldn't...
I haven't heard the whole story, but I think they just picked off a couple.
Yeah.
So they cooked up, I think they had the salmon for dinner last night. So they're also practicing...
Same dish, new fish.
I'm going to get that right by the end of this show.
Yeah, well done, mate. We'll let you practice that.
Anyway, so good of them to share their post with us, their picture with us.
Absolutely. And look, the Adelaide Boat Squidders crew are friends of the show and we're friends of their page. I've seen just many people get amongst the squids.
Yeah.
Port Vic jetty, Brighton Pole, Wool Bay jetty, all good numbers and good catches.
Yeah, and I can back that up. So Shannon, one of the girls from work, she had the family over on the York Peninsula for the school holidays.
Okay.
They got Tommies and squid at the local jetties.
Yes.
Moonta and Wallaroo. So there sounds like there's plenty of fish about.
Absolutely. And while we're on the subject of squid, Sully and his
Girlfriend.
yeah, got amongst them. Metro.
Yeah, that was a good bucket of squid.
That was. Very well done to them.
So Sully, he's shared a few posts with us now. He's becoming a real keen listener.
We like Sully.
He does.
Might get him on the show. Reckon?
Doesn't mind a bit of crayfish diving.
Okay. Next notable catch, we might get him on for a little segment.
Nips down to Salt Creek for the mullies, but I'm not sure he got any last time. I think we told all the fans about that one.
Yes, we did.
Also, Metro, there was a very impressive picture that I tagged you in on one of those Facebook fishing pages at the Grange Tyre Reef. A lot of fish in that. Some fella got a heap of whiting, gar, tommies, crabs.
Might need a nip out there.
Mate, we don't catch nothing, Metro.
It's your bloody hopeless hope, mate.
Anyway, we're going to give Metro... That could be our New Year's resolution next year, I reckon.
I'm not coming.
We've got to give Metro more of a go. We always head down to Victor or Warina or Yorks or KI. Maybe we've got to fish closer to home.
Loose call. Rody, 4x4ing, mate. I know it's not fishing, but you got around it. You got down there to see our good friend Henry Good and Lanzi for Lanzi's birthday. Was there a few birthday celebrations going on? Did you take a birthday cake down there?
Yeah, we had a cake.
Did you?
Prue made the cake.
Did she?
Yeah, Prue made us a little
What did she
chocolate cake.
make?
It was actually a bloody big chocolate cake.
Was it?
Yeah, so we had a bit of chocolate cake, did a bit of full driving.
Good on you, Prue.
Me and Robbo got reasonably close to testing out the roll bar on the Pajero, but we managed to avoid all that.
God, she's a safe beast, that car.
Very safe. Anyway, we took the Pajero and Goody's Farm Land Cruiser out for a spin. We did the Beachport to Robe track.
Yeah.
Stopped at Nora Arena for lunch. Beautiful part of the world, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely down there, and we look forward to that coming up on the YouTube channel, mates.
Yeah, got some good footage.
Oh, yeah.
What about talking on the YouTube channel? Diz has got a very nice little video that's coming out soon.
Oh,
so that brings us to the end of the fishing report.
That wraps up the fishing report, and we do want to that was a good episode.
Well, we've still got a little bit more to go.
We do, but we just want to talk about the YouTube channel, don't we?
Yeah, so that's our next little bit of social media.
Yeah, it's good stuff, isn't it? You're a bit of a closet YouTuber.
You reckon I've got Steven Spielberg covered?
Loose call.
Anyway,
What, you reckon putting the GoPro on your snorkel of a car is Steven Spielberg?
Oh, pretty good little video from How's Your Tackle last week.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was really good of Boyd and the guys to show us around.
Thanks to Dan for getting behind the camera.
Mate, good on him. And the fishing guru's got some great stuff. Richard would have picked up a few rigs, no doubt.
Yeah, if he's anything like you, mate, you can't go within 2Ks of that shop without buying a handful of Dan's rigs.
Geez. Well, anytime you tie me a rig, they snap off, mate.
That is garbage. Anyway, we are on YouTube. Our first two videos were a bit of a tour of the How's Your Tackle Let's Go Fishing Complex, behind the scenes with Boyd.
Yeah.
Geez, those pillies were fresh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, unbelievable. All of their bait fresh. And we had a good chat with Graham, met him in person, Graham Keegan.
That was down at the Boat Squitters Day.
It was down at the Boat Squitters Day. It was great to meet him, and he's exactly right. When you fish with fresh bait, you just give yourself every opportunity, don't you?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a bit of a teaser of our next couple of videos. Okay. We do have a bit of sand four-wheel driving footage to share with you all.
Yes.
Dizzy also has this is a game changer. It's a bloody good idea for when you've got, your tuna oil or your nitro liquid burley from Boyd down at How's Your Tackle.
Yep.
How do you keep it in the burley pot?
You got to couple it with a nice sponge in there.
Don't give away all the secrets, mate. Make sure you folk jump on the YouTube channel. That one's coming up shortly.
Yes.
Give us a like, give us a comment on the YouTube, share it to all your friends. We're going to get Dizzy putting on a bit of a clinic on how to fillet some fish. There's a bit of how-to.
Bit of Dave Gillespie wisdom there.
Talking about Dave Gillespie, he came up with that sponge, didn't he?
Yeah.
And you're just flogging it off as your own.
Yeah, no, I'm claiming it. I'm going hard on it.
There's not much...
Till he calls me out as mine.
There's not many good ideas that actually come out of Dizzy's brain. Most of them come from his old man Davo. So anyone that, is playing along at home, thank Davo for all these good ideas that Dizzy claims.
Nah, the YouTube channel is getting up and about. Make sure you keep an eye on that. There'll be a few videos popping up here and there, and we'll share our adventures over the summer.
Yeah, so get on there, give us a like. Make sure you keep sending your pictures in on Facebook or Instagram, as Scholesy did, as Sully did. We love to hear what you're all up to. So keep us involved.
Fantastic. Brilliant stuff on the socials there, Rhodey. Mate, it's time for possibly our worst segment on this show. So don't be surprised if the listenership drops off pretty significantly now.
I've actually got on the Buzzsprout page, and there's a spike in viewers in the last sort of 30 seconds to a minute.
Every second week when it's my turn, because I know that something good's coming.
All right, I don't want to hold you up because we've been here for a while tonight, guys. So here's a little quick one for you, dears.
Yeah.
Why do fish swim in schools?
Don't know.
Because they can't walk.
Oh my gosh. This is horrific.
That wasn't bad.
Area's gone downhill.
Well,
It's certainly not going uphill.
there's only so many fishing jokes we found on
We're
Google.
pushing shit uphill with these jokes. That's what we're doing.
All right, well, if you're so good, you save us next time, mate.
All right, fantastic episode. South Aussie with Cosi. Brilliant of him to come on the show. A real great guest.
Yeah, really good episode, dears. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See ya.
Rhodey and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram, and you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.